Are you a fan of zombie movies and TV series? Then you're in for a treat. In 2025, streaming platforms are packed with some of the most intense, blood-pumping, and terrifying undead stories ever created. Whether you love fast-running zombies, brutal survival horror, or apocalyptic thrillers, this list has something for every horror fan. Get ready to discover the best zombie movies and series available on streaming platforms in 2025, from brand new releases to hidden gems that will keep you on the edge of your seat. The Last of Us. 20 years after the collapse of civilization, the world is filled with overgrown ruins of cities, and humanity struggles to survive in the shadow of bloodthirsty mutants. A mysterious fungus is turning people into merciless monsters, and the surviving groups are fighting for each day. In this brutal world, Joel, a hardened smuggler, is given the task of escorting Ellie, a 14-year-old girl whose blood may hold the key to saving humanity. This is no ordinary journey. It's an expedition through a country full of bandits, treacherous factions, and omnipresent death. Over time, Joel and Ellie's relationship becomes more than just a deal. It turns into a desperate struggle for survival and a substitute for family in a world where mercy is a luxury. All of us are dead. A group of high school students are trapped in their school when a deadly virus outbreak suddenly turns people into bloodthirsty zombies. Chaos, desperation, and a fight for survival become the new reality as the hallways fill with screams and deadly danger. Teachers and students who just moments ago were friends now become monsters. There's no outside help, no rescue. The only way to survive is to find shelter and make impossible decisions. Among the intense action, there are also moments of emotion and betrayal. Every new day is another chance or a death sentence. Will the young survivors make it in a world where every mistake means the end? Kingdom. Unrest grows in the kingdom of 𝗂𝐻𝐴𝐿 when the king falls ill with a mysterious disease and his heir to the throne is removed from power. As the prince tries to uncover the truth, he stumbles upon a dark conspiracy. But what awaits outside the palace walls turns out to be far worse. A strange plague spreads through villages and towns, and those who die do not stay dead. At night, the streets fill with bloodthirsty creatures, and each victim swells their ranks. The authorities hide the truth, people die, and the prince, forced to flee, must find a way to save the country before there is no one left to save. Black Summer. The beginning of the zombie apocalypse is chaos, panic, and a brutal struggle for survival. In a world where any mistake can cost lives, a group of strangers is thrown into the middle of hell. Each has a different goal, but they share one thing: a desperate need to survive. Among them is Rose, a mother who will do anything to find her daughter. The road ahead is not just about fighting the undead, but also facing dangerous people who reveal their true nature in a crisis. There is no room for long conversations or hesitation. Every second and every decision counts. The cameras follow the characters in long, intense shots, making the viewer feel like they are in the middle of the action. There are no safe havens, no respite. This is a brutal world where the only rule is to survive at any cost. Santa Clarita Diet. Sheila and Joel are a typical married couple of real estate agents living a quiet life in the California suburbs. That is, until the day Sheila undergoes an unusual transformation. After a mysterious incident, she develops an uncontrollable hunger for human flesh. She is no longer just a wife and mother. She is now undead, with an appetite that threatens anyone who stands in her way. Despite this bloody problem, the family decides to stick together, trying to hide her secret from the neighbors while leading a normal life. Sheila's body stops aging, but to stay healthy, she must regularly hunt down unworthy members of society. This is no typical zombie story. It's a dark comedy that proves how strong family bonds can be, even when one of its members is technically dead. Train to Busan. South Korea plunges into chaos when a mysterious virus turns people into merciless, high-speed zombies. At the center of this nightmare is 𝗂𝐴𝐸, a busy father who boards an express train to Busan with his young daughter. At first, it seems like a normal trip, but when an infected passenger sneaks on board, each train car turns into a death trap. People fight for their lives, locked inside a speeding metal cage while the world outside collapses. Faced with ruthless monsters and human selfishness, 𝗂𝐸𝐸 must decide how far he will go to save his daughter. This is a story packed with adrenaline, emotional choices, and a desperate fight for survival. Alive. A young gamer wakes up in his apartment to discover that the world outside has turned into a nightmare. A mysterious epidemic has broken out, turning people into bloodthirsty creatures. The high-rise building he lives in becomes a death trap as the streets and corridors fill with fast, aggressive zombies. His phone loses signal, food supplies dwindle, and every attempt to leave ends in mortal danger. Loneliness takes a toll on his psyche, but hope returns when he notices another survivor in the building across the street, a young woman. A desperate struggle for survival begins, where any mistake could mean the end. Their only hope is to work together and find a way out of this nightmare. Fear the Walking Dead. It all started with strange news reports, disturbing footage, and the first signs that the world was changing forever. In Los Angeles, amid the growing catastrophe, a family tries to stay together, unaware that soon their fight will be about more than unity. It will be about survival. Travis and Madison struggle to protect their children as the streets descend into chaos. As the authorities lose control, every day becomes a test of strength, trust, and sacrifice. Fear the Walking Dead shows the moment civilization begins to collapse and how ordinary people must decide who they will become in a new, ruthless world. Zombieland. Double tap. 10 years after the zombie apocalypse began, a group of survivors, Tallahassee, Columbus, Wichita, and Little Rock, continue to roam the ruins of the United States. But after years of fighting side by side, their unusual family starts to fall apart. Little Rock, longing for independence, runs away with a hippie she just met, forcing the others to go after her. Along the way, they face even deadlier zombies, crazier humans, and wild battles for survival. When they reach the supposed safe haven of Babylon, things seem peaceful, until they're not. The apocalypse has evolved, faster, stronger, and deadlier than ever. Can Tallahassee and the team handle the new threat? One thing is certain, life in Zombieland is never boring. Army of the Dead. Las Vegas has become a death zone. After a zombie outbreak, the government sealed the city, leaving hordes of bloodthirsty creatures trapped inside. Meanwhile, a wealthy casino owner makes an irresistible offer. $200 million is locked in a vault beneath the ruins, but time is running out before the military wipes out the city. Scott Ward, a former soldier and expert in impossible missions, gathers a team of mercenaries for the ultimate heist. But what starts as a high-stakes robbery quickly turns into something far worse. The undead aren't just mindless creatures, they're an organized, intelligent army of alpha zombies. As the mission unravels and tensions rise, one mistake could mean death. In this city, only the smartest will survive.